for home field advantage. Well, you can hear behind us that the game is about to start. The players have been introduced, so let's go over and join our commentators, Pat Summerall and John Madden.
The Packers are 5-3 on the road. The 49ers have yet to be beaten here at 3Com Park. Brett Favre will rest as the 49ers have won the toss, and they send Chuck Levy back for Ryan Longwell's kick.
I'll tell you, Pat, this wind is really a factor here today, and I was watching the pregame warm-ups, the kickers and the footballs going in the air, and there were some ugly-looking sights.
And I was down on the field, John, before the game, and there's some ugly-looking spots on this field as well.
So we may see a great football game played in some ugly conditions.
Longwell's kick hangs up at the 2 to Chuck Levy. Levy breaks out of the pack on the opening kickoff. Longwell. And there was a flag, I believe, on the play on the far side of the field. Mike Pryor made the stop as he and Longwell were the only two men to beat. It's going to be against the 49ers, an illegal block in the back, as there usually seems to be. Levy almost broke the opening kickoff.
Illegal block in the back on return, number 28. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Illegal block called against Curtis Buckley, and it moves the 49ers back into that soggy part of the field.
You know, and I think in any big game, I always felt that I would rather lose the toss and start on defense than start on offense. I think that, you know, your offense all has to work together. They're a little shaky earlier. Defense is just react and go after them. Get old Big Gilbert Brown right there going.
On first down, it's Hurst. No gain. Young gives to Hurst. Cut down at about the 11 by Reggie White. 3rd and 7. Young to throw it. Pass to Stokes. Got him a first. Tyrone Williams brought him down.
That's what they do. The 49ers line up in a look that looks like 4 wide receivers, but one of those wide receivers is Brent Jones. J.J. Stokes was the outside guy, and he's just going to run a slant. You see, you got a guy here, here. These are the 4 right here, and here's the slant. You just come right here, get right inside, and hit that ball right there. See, here it is with a closer look. You see, once you get inside right there, Steve Young knows that he has a first down.
49ers put Owens in motion. Young outside. Owens gets away from 1. Picks up about 4. Both the 49er receivers are big, tall, strong guys.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of the things the 49ers have been trying to do for years. You know, move their wide receiver along. Of course, that started with the great Jerry Rice. You know, you don't just leave a wide receiver out right or left. You bring them in tight, you put them in motion, you put them in the backfield, and that's exactly what they did on that play with Terrell Owens.
2nd and 5 for the 49ers. Opening drive, and the rain comes just a little bit harder. Packers show blitz. No flag. That's Hurst. Short of the first.
You know, it's interesting, Pat, that the 49ers script their offense, so the Green Bay Packers are going to script their defense. So Fritz Shurmur is just rolling them. He's just running guys in and out. In fact, on that one there, they were in what they call their 3-3 nickel. And that's where Seth Joyner, instead of being a linebacker, he lines up over a guard, and he becomes a pass rusher. So
3rd and 2 now.
I was just saying, Fritz Shurmur says, if you're going to script, I'm going to script, so at the end of your scripting, you won't know what you're going to get anyway.
Again, 3 wide receivers. Extra defensive backs for the Pack. Owens underneath gets another 49er first down. From wide, he cut underneath Brett Jones.
Steve Young really does look calm. You know, both of these guys, Brett Favre and Steve Young, are great competitors, and they tend to be towards the hyper side. And but Steve Young isn't starting out playing hyper in his first drive. Looks very calm.
Different kind of hyper.
But he has good pass protection too.
First down, San Francisco. Young keeps it, drops it out to Greg Clark. Clark gets across midfield. Stopped finally by Seth Joyner.
That's why you have to be able to run a little, because then you can run the bootleg, and that's what Steve Young is the best at. What you do is you get both backs going this way. Steve Young makes that fake, then comes out here on the bootleg. Now, if you react to the backs going this way, watch when the back comes this way, on the fake there, and you get the lineman pulling, then the Packers all get caught that way, and then he can come out and hit his tight end, Greg Clark.
Both guards came out in the opposite direction.
I know, and it's hard for a defensive lineman when you see the back go that way and both linemen going that way. It's hard for you not to go that way.
Young to Hurst, lost a yard. Had a problem with the exchange early.
And they have a problem with that 8th man up, too. You know, anytime that you start to run, you're going to get a strong safety up there. You're going to get Leroy Butler up there. Now watch where Leroy Butler is, and this is a run blitz. It looks like he knows what the play is.
Yep.
He blitzes right into the hole that Garrison Hurst is running in. That's the old 8-man up, and when that 8-man up is like Leroy Butler, he's as good as most linebackers when they're in that hole.
2nd and 12. San Francisco at their own 47. Hurst goes in motion this time, and now he comes back. Stays in the block. Screen pass coming to Hurst. And the Packers had it red. Santana Dotson.
Yeah, really, defensive linemen are really getting good at reading screen passes. And more teams are running screen passes. And I bet you it just seems like watching them this year that 3/4 of them don't work. I think that linemen feel if the quarterback is going to get rid of the ball quickly. Now watch Santana Dotson here. He just stops rushing. He feels that guard. Ray Brown goes out. He sees Garrison Hurst go out, so he just stops. It used to be guys would just rush right towards the quarterback and he'd throw that screen. Now they see it or feel it and they go to the screen.
3-man front, but Seth Joyner gets down and he's going to rush, and now a flag.
This is what Fritz Shermer calls his 3-3 dime.
False start. Offense prior to the snap, number 81. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Owens jumped.
Yeah, he's right here, and he's the guy that should never jump. I mean, there's no excuse for that. I mean, he can look in. He doesn't have to hear the count. He can look in at the ball and watch the ball being snapped, especially when the corner's way off him like that.
3rd and 24. Here comes Joyner rushing. But Young has time and throws to Owens, who has it. Not quite enough for the first down, about 2 or 3 yards short.
Mullen was right out there, and he was playing off him. But when you get that big a cushion, watch Roderick Mullen here. He's playing back, and now as he starts to drive off, he drives him back. He gets his shoulders turned, and then Owens can make that move to the sideline. Had Owens taken about 3 more steps, though, before he made that move and knew where that first down stick was, the 49ers wouldn't have to be punting in this situation because Steve Young did have plenty of time.
Robert Brooks and Mike Pryor back deep for Green Bay. And Tommy Thompson will punt it. Low kick, slid off the side of his foot and takes a football bounce. A crazy one.
So we can get something like this, and that's then of course used to produce.
They created their microprocessor in 1971, and the faster their chips have performed,
Welcome back to San Francisco. Well, the San Francisco 49ers didn't score on their opening possession, but they did run nearly 7 minutes off the clock. So there's 8:04 remaining in the first quarter. As the Packers come out for their first possession, they'll be starting at their own 22-yard line.
A windy, murky day in San Francisco. The NFC Championship, 0-0. The Packers' first possession. The winner to play Denver in the Super Bowl. Quick count, Favre drop. Caught by Brooks. Brooks crosses the 40. Farber throw it again. Brooks again. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Yep, you know where they're looking. They're looking to Brett Favre's right, and that matchup he has over there is Robert Brooks against Rod Woodson. Threw it on the first down, came right back and threw it the next time.
Both play passes. Something.
Interference. Defense, number 26.
They can't tag the referee.
You're going to see, here's Rod Woodson right here. Here's Robert Brooks. And you see, he turns Woodson around. And when Woodson gets back, he gets that right hand on that right shoulder while the ball's in the air.
1st and 10, Green Bay at the San Francisco 35. 4 wide receivers set up this time for Green Bay. Favre underneath. Again, Brooks. Dorsey Levens pounds it straight ahead. The last 2 postseason meetings, Green Bay has outscored the 49ers 28-0 in the first quarter. Most of that as a result of turnovers, however.
Yeah, that's the area that the 2 areas that the 49ers have had trouble with the Packers have been the special teams plays and then the turnovers. I mean, if you have 9 turnovers in 2 playoff games, you aren't going to win.
You're going to lose them, yeah.
And you just watch the way Green Bay is getting started here. They're really crisp. I mean, they look like they're a little crispier, if that's a word, than the 49ers are.
It is now.
Especially their offense against the 49er defense. They're beating them to the punch. They're getting off first.
Favre has gone on a quick count a couple of times.
Yeah, Favre is a master at that. He's become a master at that, at changing up the count. You know, going from the quick count to a long count to a hard count. Really using his count to keep that defensive line from getting a lot of penetration quickly.
2 tight ends. 2 wide receivers to the right. Brooks and Freeman. The screen pass goes to Levens. Caught from behind by Stubblefield.
You want to see an interesting thing is on the screen pass. One thing that the tackle to the side of the screen, that's going to be Ross Verba here. He has to cut his guy to get his hands down so you can throw the ball over him. Now watch Ross Verba here. He's looking in for the count. But watch how he goes, like he's going to boom. He cuts Chris Dolman right there. That gets him down. Then you can throw that screen pass out there.
And that would have gone for some good yardage had it not been for the effort by Stubblefield. 2nd and 10. Levens. Dorsey Levens to the 20.
Yeah, we talked about Leroy Butler being up there as a strong safety for the Green Bay Packers, and the same thing is true with the 49ers, but it's Tim McDonald. You know, anytime that you're having trouble with your front 4 and linebackers, your front 7, you have to get that strong safety involved. And the strong safety for the 49ers, number 46, Tim McDonald, he's the guy that made that play on that run.
3rd and 6 at the 20. Frank Winters, the offensive center for Green Bay. Fakes 11. Pass to Chamora. Inside the 10. Should be enough for a first. Is enough for a first.
Again, good pass protection. And you're going to see Chamora right here. He's just coming off. Rod Woodson is playing on him in that nickel. He was playing a zone. He got him a bump. And then Chamora just found that hole in the zone. And, of course, when Brett Favre just needs about 5 or 6 yards and he gets down into that area, I'll guarantee you he's looking for number 89 from Boston College.
1st and goal at the 9. Levens to the 3. Woodall made the stop. Levens hit hard, but he can deliver a blow as well as take one.
Well, he finishes off his runs, especially when they start in the I formation. You're just going to see him. He loves this kind of running. He calls this downhill running. You get in there behind your fullback and you just run right downhill. You know, you don't have to sweep. You don't have to wait for guards to pull or anything. Just get in the I formation and just follow your fullback in there.
And his fullback does a heck of a job. Henderson. Levens again. Jams it to the 1. Plummer on the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, this is going to be a heck of a matchup in here. I mean, you have Bryant Young here, Dana Stubblefield here. One of the best tandems of defensive tackles in football, and they are tough to get movement on, and they are tough to run at. I mean, we know that Green Bay is tough to run at with Gilbert Brown, but I think when Bryant Young is playing and healthy and Dana Stubblefield is playing healthy, they're equally as tough to run in the middle line.
3 tight ends for Green Bay. Favre. The pass was deflected.
Oh, the 49ers make a big play by that deflection because William Henderson was wide open in the end zone.
Yes, he was.
Favre saw him. Favre was trying to throw it to him. And if Favre could have gotten there, that's a touchdown. Let's just hear. You're going to see that Gary Plummer is the guy that knocks that ball down. But William Henderson, maybe Plummer was supposed to be the guy that was covering William Henderson because there was no one in the end zone on William Henderson.
Ryan Longwell, who was with the 49ers, hits for the Packers and puts them ahead 3-0 from 19 yards out.
Here's William Henderson. Watch, he's going to run right by Gary Plummer here and be free in the end zone. I think Plummer was supposed to have him, and then when he gets by Plummer, Plummer just jumps up and knocks the ball down. But watch Henderson here. He's free right here in the end zone. Favre sees him and tries to throw it to him. That would have been a wide open touchdown if Gary Plummer doesn't touch the ball by just that much.
Brett Favre was right. Just that much. Longwell's kick sends Levy to the goal line. Levy, once you stop on a kickoff return, they're going to gain ground in a hurry.
You know, it was interesting when the Packers got here yesterday and they didn't have a place to practice. They went down to Moffett Field and they practiced in Hangar 1. And in Hangar 1, they can put 12 blimps.
It's a big hangar. Owens makes the catch from Young, picks up about 7.
That was an interesting formation. The 49ers came out in that 4 wide receiver look, and they usually do that on longer yardage, but they can see they got a receiver here and here and here and here, and they spread them out and made them play dime on first down. Usually that's a second and long or third down offensive formation.
Young hasn't missed. This is Hurst, and there is nothing there for Garrison Hurst. Brian Williams led the Packer defense.
You know, that's one thing about that Packer defense, that they do have speed at linebacker. You know, with Brian Williams, he's one of the fastest linebackers in the league, and he's hard to get away from because of the speed. And then the other thing is their defensive secondary are good tacklers. They don't have many guests or any guests back there. They all tackle well.
Four down rushers. Young wheels it outside. It's caught by Hurst, and Hurst is knocked out of bounds by Tyrone Williams. Another poor kick. The wind really got this one. The first punt was 19 yards, and this one is a little bit better, but not much. The Green Bay Packers lead the 49ers 3-0. The Packers' second possession. That's Chimura on the move, and Favre's now ready and drops to throw it. Incomplete, and no flags this time. Brooks, the intended receiver, covered by Marquez Pope.
You know, if you watch Frank Winters, Pat, he always does something on pass protection that is interesting. Watch him here. If he's going to block to his right, he'll put his left hand out there. So really, he helps both ways. See, now he has a snap in. Now watch his left hand go out there. See, that's to help on that gap here. Then he's looking to help on this side. And that's what he does for Bryant Young. But that way you can help both sides. One with your hand to stop a gap and the other one with your shoulder.
Favre. Brooks incomplete.
Sometimes he gets caught in the middle, though. I think on that one he did, like the old washing machine. You know, when you get caught in here, watch. Here he's going to be right here, and he's going to start out to put his left hand up to stop that gap. You see the left hand goes out there, and the right hand goes up there, and there he has two guys. He has one on each shoulder, but his job is to not let someone get a run straight up the middle at Brett Favre.
So actually, he did a pretty good job.
I think so, for old Bag of Donuts. He always does a pretty good job.
Yes,
he is real cagey in there.
McDonald showing blitz, and Favre called timeout. He saw him coming.
I don't know. Favre probably had to audible and didn't have enough time to audible, so he just called a timeout and said he'll go over and talk to Mike Holmgren about it. But watch McDonald come up. You see they get a look back here. Now Favre's ready to call the play. Now here's McDonald here. You see, and he's going to sneak up, sneak up, sneak up. Now they don't have enough blockers on that side to handle that right side. So if it's a pass, there would be a guy free on pass protection. You see him come into the frame right there. And if it's a run, if they were running to that side, again, there would be an extra guy. So it was probably going to be a bad play with no time to audibilize.
And Brett Favre called a timeout.
Mike Holmgren, you don't think this is a big one for him, trying to repeat as a Super Bowl champion, coming back here to his hometown? He grew up here in San Francisco, went to Lincoln High School, coached at Sacred Heart High School.
Kimura again moves to the right, and Favre drops the throw. Turns it to the inside, and Brooks took it to the outside. It's incomplete. Are they hugging?
Good coverage out there by Marquez Pope. Marquez Pope is a very physical guy. Now that's a look, Pat. That's a look like a fighter in the 12th round of a heavyweight championship fight.
A little bit of grass, a little bit of mud on the helmet.
It looks like a big cut over the left eye. But they're trying to hold together with that glue stuff.
Is a good one. Handled by Levy, and Levy is taken down by the Packer cover teams at about the 13. Favre and Kevin Green.
Remember last week, Brett Favre was doing that with Warren Sapp, and Mike Holmgren didn't like it, and he talked to Brett Favre about it. But once the game starts, Brett Favre is the type of guy, he's just going to play. And when someone hits him and knocks him down, it was Bryant Young who really knocked him down, he's going to give him a head slap. And then you know, Kevin Green, he loves to headbutt. In fact, there was one game this year when Kevin Green wasn't suited up. Remember that? He was in street clothes on the 49er sideline. A 49er made a great play, and he gave him a headbutt with his raw head.
Well, he's got a lot of hair.
Yeah, but I mean, a headbutt was square in the forehead with nothing there. When you give a headbutt with a raw head, you have to be a wrestler.
That was Garrison Hurst straight ahead for a couple of yards.
You know, that's the way Brett Favre plays. And I know that, you know, sometimes Mike Holmgren figures that, you know, he gets carried away and he takes it too far. But if you take that away from Brett Favre, then you don't have Brett Favre.
That's the end of the first quarter. Green Bay leading 3-0.
Well, it's the 49ers against the Packers down there on the field. It's us against El Nino up here in the...
Green Bay 3, San Francisco 0. Pat Summerall with John Madden.
You know, Pat, Steve Young is perfect. He's perfect 8 out of 8.
Second and about 6. Young drops. Still perfect. First down, San Francisco to J.J. Stokes.
You know, we talked about the script and the 49ers scripted and Green Bay going to script. You can look here in their first 15 plays, and that's what their script is. The 49ers had 6 runs and 9 passes. And then you look, okay, now what was Fritz Shermer going to do? He had 13 4-3s, and he had 1 base and he had 1 nickel. He had 2 3-3 nickel dimes. You know, that he just started. So really, he just was kind of answering their script.
Young deep for Stokes. Got it. Tyrone Williams was the cover man, but Stokes took a strike from Steve Young.
And Steve Young is still perfect.
Yep.
We said Steve Young has to have a big day. Here's the isolation out here. Here's Tyrone Williams. And you see J.J. Stokes again being so big. Once he can get by, now he can use that left hand.
Yep.
In fact, he used that left hand 3 times. 1 to get by, 1 to push off the first time, 1 to push off the second time, and then after he pushed off that second time, he had a step on Tyrone Williams. Partly by his feet, but partly by that left hand too, huh?
And he is so big, as you said. Reverse coming and dropped in the backfield by Owens. Let's see who's got it.
You know, a lot of times those plays are just momentum killers, and you kill yourself trying to trick them when you don't need tricks. You have your quarterback is perfect. Steve Young is perfect. Is what, 10 for 10 or 11 for 11?
10 for 10.
You don't need reverses.
And that's a hard play to run. Owens did scramble around and got it back, but they lost yardage.
This is always a tough thing, you know, because you get a guy taking ball handling who isn't used to it. And he's running, and the quarterback is running one way. The guy running the reverse is running the other way.
Yep.
And again, Terrell Owens is the guy, number 81, who runs the reverse, and he's not used to getting a handoff from a quarterback. And he just puts it out there, and they just bumble that the snap. I mean, he just never does get the handoff.
And they're lucky to get it back.
Yeah, but the 49ers didn't need that play.
That's exactly right. Young to Garrison Hurst. Chase to the sideline, but Hurst out of bounds inside the Packer 30. Brian Williams pushed him out.
Well, he's been big for the 49ers this year. Garrison Hurst just coming back off a broken collarbone. But watch his protection here. You see, it starts off like a draw. They get Reggie White up. Kirk Strafford does, making them think it's a draw. They try and get in the 4-hole, which is inside of Reggie. When Reggie takes that step to the inside, Garrison Hurst just breaks it to the outside.
Green Bay leads San Francisco, the 49ers at the Packer 28.
Green Bay's in that 3-3 dime pad. Here's where Seth Joyner, most of the time, will become a pass rusher.
Blitz came off the corner. The pass is intercepted by Eugene Robinson. Young's first miss, and Robinson's got some room. Eugene Robinson still on his feet. Out of bounds at the San Francisco 28 by Chris Dolman.
Eugene Robinson just ran out of gas down there. But again, they start with that 3-3 dime that we talked about. That means that they have 3 defensive linemen, and then they're going to have their 6 defensive backs. And you see that they have the whole thing covered. So they have 2 safeties back here. So they instead of blitzing, they kind of fake the blitz and they stop. And you see Steve Young throw the ball, and Eugene Robinson, he got a jump on it because he knew that he had a defender behind him. Now watch Robinson. He grabs Brent Jones a little there and then jumps in front of him.
And just ran out of gas at the end of the run, as you said. First down, Green Bay at the San Francisco 28. Levens. And Levens gets only a yard.
You know, Steve Young was almost, well, he was perfect up until that point, and then we go back to what are the problems that the 49ers have had with the Green Bay Packers over the years, and it's been turnovers.
Well, they almost had a turnover on that reverse to Owens earlier, and then Robinson made the play covering Brent Jones.
And that's the thing Steve Young was talking about. He said when we move the ball, we have to get 7s, not 3s, but even worse than 3s is nones.
Favre looks inside, hits Freeman. Antonio Freeman puts the Packers ahead further.
You talk about big receivers, and what Antonio Freeman did is he just got inside of Marquez Pope. And that's that slant pattern. and he beat Marquez Pope. That wasn't something he did down the field. He did it right off the line of scrimmage.
Line of scrimmage. You're exactly right. He has come up with some big plays, and here's another.
And you're going to see, there's Marquez Pope. See, right at that point, he's beaten right now. He has him. Marquez Pope goes for a strip. Then there's a couple of poor tacklings, a couple of poor angles. But Marquez Pope was beaten right at the line of scrimmage.
10-0 Green Bay. Longwell's extra point is good.
Yeah, we talked about Marquez Pope. He's right here. He's going to miss inside, but then watch Merton Hanks. He takes a bad angle, and then Rod Woodson comes over and takes a bad angle. So the first part is right there. See, he gets inside. Now watch Merton Hanks, bad angle. Now watch Rod Woodson. That was a whiff. So part of it was right off the bat. It was Marquez Pope. Then it was Merton Hanks. Then it was Rod Woodson.
Longwell's bouncing kick, fielded by one of the wedge blockers, Frank Pollock.
Then I watched Marquez Pope, Pat. That was after he had missed that, and then he went for the strip and missed that. Marquez Pope, that's his reaction, because he knows that play cost him a touchdown. Then you look at the winner, how he reacts.
It's raining.
I'll tell you, he made a pretty good run. I mean,
yes, he did.
I mean, Antonio Freeman, by getting inside of Marquez Pope, was good, and then by running right by Hanks and Woodson, that was pretty good running, and it was kind of poor angles and tackling too.
Young back to throw it. Lofts it outside to a wide open Garrison Hurst, and Hurst gets across midfield and into Packer territory.
It was interesting, that last play was a first down nickel. But you look at this, Pat, in the last 2+, including this game, postseason meetings, Green Bay has scored 31 points off of 10 San Francisco 49ers turnovers, and that's what that one there was, where Robinson intercepted it and then went down and scored.
Just under 11 minutes left in the first half as Young again gives to Hurst, and the Packers are there in a hurry, led by Gilbert Brown.
Yep, the old grave digger, he gives the old shovel move. Gilbert Brown makes a play again. We know that you're not going to run at him. Watch Gilbert Brown here. Now here's a pretty good matchup with Gogan, because he weighs about 330. Gilbert Brown's about 370. Gogan tries to cut him or get at that ankle and doesn't get it. Now if you don't get Gilbert Brown and he's free, he's going to make the play in there.
2nd and 13. Young to throw. Pump fake. Incomplete. Intended for Stokes. Blind play by Tyrone Williams. He didn't see the ball coming.
No. Tyrone Williams is up there on J.J. Stokes, and you see him. He gets his hands on him right there. Now when the ball's in the air, you can't touch him, and I don't know that there was anything wrong with that. I mean, there is some contact, but he's going back to look for the ball, and in doing so, he brings that left arm around and hits J.J. Stokes' shoulder. But they have to let him play. I mean, they have to let that stuff go. That one there.
3rd and 13. Young to throw it. Ball bounces up in the air, almost caught by Owens after it bounced up into the air.
And the Packers were in that 3-3 dime again, Pat. That's one of the things that Fritz Shermer really likes. And, he played the 49ers on this series. He played them nickel on first down, and then he played them dime on the passing down. Nickel being 5 defensive backs, dime being 6 defensive backs. So he's given them a lot of different looks with a lot of different defensive back packages.
49er punter Tommy Thompson not having his strongest day, averaging 28.5 yards. This one's better. Brooks watches it bounce, and it's going to roll dead about the 11, about the 13-yard line is where they'll finally down it. The winner will play Denver in the Super Bowl. Passes out to Henderson. Henderson gets outside the 20. Second and 3. '49ers crowding the line of scrimmage. This is Levens. Levens hammers for a first down outside the 25. To Freeman, who made the catch. He had to come back a little bit. Rod Woodson, the cover man. And Freeman has turned into one big play receiver.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, one of the most improved players on the Green Bay Packer team. They've had stars. You know, I mean, Brett Favre is a star, and Dorsey Levens is kind of turning into one, and Mark Chimera, Robert Brooks is coming off an injury. But I think after Brett Favre, Antonio Freeman could be their next biggest star on this team.
Levens. Not much.
Chimera has someone on his foot there. He can't get his foot out. He tried to go back to the huddle, and there was someone on his foot, and then he just decided to stand there until the pile got off.
That's the best thing to do. Don't fight it.
I think Green Bay is kind of trying to show that the weather doesn't bother him. Watch Chimera right here. You see? You see? He gets caught there in the foot there. He starts to pull it out. Then after a while, he just gives up. That's the way you don't pull anything. You start jerking things, and then pretty soon you can you'll pull a ligament or a muscle or something.
Levens got a first down, 1st and 10. Favre will throw it on first down. The pass is caught again. This is Antonio Freeman. Freeman crosses the 49er 35 before he is finally taken down by Woodson.
Yeah, we saw him do it to Marquez Pope on the other side for a touchdown, this time to Rod Woodson. And when you get up there in jam coverage, when you get up there where you're going to jam him, if you're here and you're Rod Woodson like that, you better get him a jam, because if you miss him, he's going to get inside and Brett Favre is going to get the ball to him. You see, if you're going to get up there, you better get the jam. When you miss the jam, Brett Favre is going to see it and hit you right on stride.
And he's going to get the ball there in a hurry. Hand off to Levens. Dorsey Levens bangs to the outside and gets close to the 49er 20, a first down.
You know, this was something that we're seeing here, Pat, and as I saw it right in the first series, that the Green Bay Packer offense is getting off first. And you just see everyone is getting off, and they're beating the 49ers to the punch. They started on their first drive, and they've been doing it on every drive. That they're just a half a beat quicker on offense than the 49ers are on defense. They're taking it to them on the pass protection, on the pass patterns, and on the run blocking.
And Levens, as has been said many times, gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, if you don't like him now, just wait a little while.
Favre drops to throw it. Maybe. Back across the field to Levens. Only Brett Favre can do that. Out of bounds inside the 10, and the Packers will have it.
But look at Brett Favre's jersey, Pat. He's clean. I mean, he has pass protection. Part of that is that he can make those moves, but part of it is there's no one there. I mean, I mean, he's back there now. He has time, and he'll look and look and look and move and move and move. That's way too much time to get Brett Favre. If you give him that much time in or out of the pocket, he's going to kill you.
He didn't quite get to the 10-yard line.
Watch this. You see the 3-on-2. If they're going to get pressure, they have to get pressure up the middle. And I'll tell you, Frank Winters, Aaron Taylor, and Adam Timmerman did a great job on that pass protection.
They can make a first without scoring. That's Dorsey Levens, and he's going to be taken down for no gain by Roy Barker.
Roy Barker's an interesting guy. You see, sometimes he doesn't even get down in a three-point stance. On that play before, he just stayed up there in a two-point stance, and he gives them a little pass rush, but really gives them strength with a running game at the point of attack. And sometimes they'll bring in Kevin Green to get a rush from that position, but he gives them a 290-pound defensive end that gives you a point on that left side.
They can make a first down without scoring. 2nd and 10.
Oh, that's Earl Dotson.
Earl Dotson moved early.
That's that snap count. You know, one thing that Brett Favre likes to do is go snap count.
Ball start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
You know, he'll go quick count. Here's what I was talking about Roy Barker. You see him, he's a defensive end up in a 2-point stance, and it was Roy Barker that made Earl Dotson move.
Packers leading the San Francisco 49ers 10-0. Second and 15, Green Bay at the San Francisco 16. Favre, blitz coming, and Favre just gets rid of it. They didn't pick it up.
Yeah, that was Tim McDonald again. Remember the last time Tim McDonald started to sneak up there. Here's Tim McDonald. He started to sneak up there. Brett Favre called a timeout. This time Tim McDonald times it perfectly. You see what happens? They're trying to run a screen pass to that right, so the line are pulling out, but Brett Favre has to watch. He has to wait. That's what it looks like to Brett Favre. He knows that he has a screen pass developing to his right, but he also knows that 46 is breathing down his neck.
3rd and 15. Blitz again. Favre throws it away again. Bryant Young up the middle with Kevin Green.
And that's going to be a penalty because Brett Favre was in the pocket there. If he gets outside of where the tight end would normally line up, he can throw it away. If he's not outside that area, he can't throw it away. Dick Hantak is the referee. Brett Favre is arguing that there was a receiver.
Offense, number 4.
That might have just taken him out of field goal range.
See, now if he is in this area here, in this pocket area, he cannot intentionally ground the ball. If he gets outside of that area, then he could intentionally ground the ball. But you watch where he is. You see, he's going to be inside that tight end area. So he's getting the pressure right there. Bryant Young is in the middle. Kevin Green is there. He throws it out to the right side, and there's no receiver there.
Mike Holmgren and Brett Favre do not agree. Dick Hantak.
Maybe Brett Favre did talk one of those officials into saying that there was a receiver out there.
Maybe so.
Because that is also automatic loss of down.
And as I said, that might have just taken him out of field goal range. With the wind like it is today and the ball wet.
Well, it would be right here from the 30. It's a 47-yard field goal. This is Derek Mays out there working on Tyrone Drakeford. You know, he slides and falls down, but again, that was a screen play. I mean, he had no time at all.
47 yards away. That's not going to get there. Wide right. The 49er crowd proud of the defense.
Well, of course, the 49ers being down 10-0, they haven't had a lot to cheer about today. There's Steve Mariucci. He doesn't need a lot of officiating out there.
He had an early call, didn't he?
Mike Holmgren is still complaining about that. I think he's complaining about Tyrone Drakeford holding Derek Mays. I think he's also complaining that there was a receiver out there when Brett Favre threw that ball.
He's on the competition committee, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's like those. He's probably telling the officials about it. The officials already know about it, but you know, they're an all-star crew. This isn't a crew that works together. They're graded and then put in these positions.
Steve Young fires. Flag on the play in the middle of the field. Young's pass went out of bounds.
Magic like and ordained to the.
This is amazing that he's playing today, Pat.
He is, really. I saw him Friday when we both saw him at practice Friday.
Yeah, he injured his calf, couldn't walk.
Defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Yeah, and he was sure that he wouldn't be able to play today, and he went down to see Dr. Dillingham, and he gave him a shot, and then he didn't practice yesterday, and there was a holding right there on Brent Jones.
Inside handoff, and this is William Floyd. throw, gets it down the middle. Pass is caught by Brent Jones. And he was so distraught after Friday's practice. He said, Mike, what a way to end my career.
Yeah, because he's announced his retirement.
Yeah.
This is going to be his last year. He gets hurt on a Friday practice. They take him off in a cart. And he didn't think that he'd be able to play today. But yeah, if you just know Brent Jones, he's done so many things like that. I mean, this year he's had a broken leg and he's come back and played with it. He played with a broken wrist. He's had a concussion. Now he has this calf thing. He is one tough guy.
Who doesn't look tough. They fake that reverse again. And they have Floyd. And William Floyd goes out of bounds, covered by George Kuntz.
There is a flag on the play, too.
Yep. Going to be holding against the 49ers.
And whatever they do, they're just shooting himself in the foot. Every time they get down there, something happens.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. 5-yard penalty.
Kevin Gogan.
Yeah, here's Kevin Gogan right here. And you just watch his right arm. You see him grab him. He grabs Seth Joyner right there. That's what they saw. I don't know about that, but I always taught my guys that if you're playing against someone with white jerseys, don't wear dark gloves or tape, because they're going to see it on that white jersey. Now, look at Kevin Gogan. You see that dark part? That's the part they saw. You should have all white against a white jersey.
You were even looking to deceive him, right? Intended for Brent Jones. He got a hand on it, but was hit in the back hard.
I was just looking for my fair advantage, but I thought, you know, don't give those officials any fair advantages. Watch Brent Jones here. I mean, he gets the biggest hits, I think, that I've ever seen against a guy. I mean, he had
a tough guy.
Yeah, I mean, he had one last week where, in fact, it was the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
He got knocked heels over head.
Or vice versa.
What? His head was down, his heels were up.
Young comes out of the pocket, scrambles out. Flag on the play. Young's going to take off. Steve Young down the sideline, slides at the 40, but the penalty marker's way back. Santana Dotson still standing back there. It's going to be against San Francisco.
And they were just getting going, and the crowd was getting into the game. The Packers had missed a field goal. The 49ers started moving the ball. Then a holding penalty. Then boom, another holding penalty. Lucky Steve Mariucci's a young guy.
Holding. Offense.
How long do you think that'll last? Him being a young guy.
Behind the line of scrimmage. The end of the play was beyond. We will enforce from the previous spot. 10 yards. 3rd down. Replay the down. 2nd down.
The first one was Kevin Gogan holding. That one was Terry Kirby holding.
If anything, it's raining a little bit harder now. I would think that'll make it more difficult for San Francisco to come from behind.
You know, Brett Favre brought up an interesting thing about the way Steve Young passes a ball, that he puts the ball in the palm of his hand, and he can be a good bad weather passer.
3-man rush. The pass is caught, juggled, but caught by Owezike. Chuck Levy was in the lineup for the 49ers. The pass, Owens, off his kneecaps. Terrell Owens.
And Tyrone Williams was on him. They were in that 3-3 dime we talked about. Here's Terrell Owens right there. There's Tyrone Williams. He gives him a little move, gets beyond him, and Steve Young makes a perfect throw.
What a good throw that was.
And now Steve Young and the 49ers have to think that they have to get the ball in the end zone, because they were down there in the 28.
Yep.
Remember, he threw a interception. Floyd caught the ball to the 22, and they had the penalties. Now this is the 3rd time they've been down there.
Right at the 10-yard line. 1st and goal. Young drops. Stokes is out of bounds. Made the catch, but couldn't get them both down.
These guys are making some catches for Steve Young. J.J. Stokes and Terrell Owens. Watch Stokes here again. Again, you have to catch the ball and have both feet in bounds. There's the left Now, does the right foot come down? No, the right foot was out.
Crowd boos.
Yeah, well, Steve Young is looking at it on the big screen here too. Everyone reacts. You know, it's not just the receivers and the quarterback. This is how the big old guards in there react that have to block Gilbert Brown.
Ray Brown. Here's Young back to throw again. Fires, batted back. Deflected.
That was deflected by Gabe Wilkins. You know, as of yesterday, they weren't even sure that Gabe Wilkins was going to be able to play. But watch Gabe Wilkins. He's right here. He gets a little push right there, and then gets as far as you can, and then get your hands up.
That's what they teach you.
Yep, that's exactly what they teach you. You know, not only now wait and time that thing and get up, and what you do is you take a passing lane away from them.
3rd and goal at the 10. Brent Jones and Owens go left. Stokes is out to the right.
Steve Young was saying yesterday, we get down here, we have to get 7s, not 3s.
Steve Young out to Garrison Hurst, who drops it. He was at the 6. Couldn't hang on.
I don't know what kind of play that would have been anyway, because that wouldn't have given him a touchdown, nor would have given a 1st down. So he must not have had anything else, because to throw that out there, you have to believe that they're going to miss a bunch of tackles. And I think that even had they completed that ball, they still would have had to have kicked this field goal.
Anderson, Gary Anderson with Thompson holding. Anderson is good. Antonio Freeman returning the kickoff, and he gets out to about the 27-28. Favre gives to Levens. Levens just keeps pounding away to 35.
That's that old counter tray, and you know, these guys are really good in the last 2 minutes. If you look at the last 2 minutes of the first half, they've scored 7 touchdowns and 6 field goals.
They have 1 timeout left.
And you know, I mean, so much of that is Brett Favre. I mean, you know, that he's not only, you know, such a strong-armed quarterback, but he's very daring. I mean, he's going to go out there and he's going to challenge it. And he's not ready just to let a clock roll out.
They got Tyrone Davis in the game, and here's Favre to challenge. Going deep to Freeman, who makes catch. There's a flag on the play. Freeman gets to his feet. Antonio Freeman between 2 49er defenders, but flags on the play.
And that's Brett Favre, and it's going to be against the 49ers. You know, the clock is running down. A lot of guys, they'll take a knee, they'll run the fullback in, they'll do something. Not Brett Favre. Like I said, it's the end. He's going to challenge you. It doesn't make any difference what the situation. He'll challenge you.
Defense, number 23, penalty decline, completed pass.
Call against Marquez Pope. First down, Packers.
You know, it's always tough to, you know, the crowd. They always try and get the crowd in. They say this, you know, here in San Francisco, the crowd's not loud, but plays like that will always quiet a crowd. You know, that the home team has to give the crowd something to yell about. I mean, they can't be yelling when the pass is in there. Now they can yell, you know, don't make the field goal.
This one's going to be from 43 yards out by Longwell. That one's going to get there. And that one's good.
So 13-3, the Packers lead the 49ers at halftime, and Darren, the men...
Premature babies. It's had unfilled
Aaron Hayden will return the kickoff. A short kick it was to the 26. And right now on the sideline, let's send you down to Ron Pitts.
Thank you very much, Pat. Talked to both coaches coming off at halftime. Steve Mariucci said we got to get back to running the football like we know we can run it. And then the field position bothered him. We want to get ourselves in better field position. He said he's not going to do anything to change up the game plan because of the weather. They're going to stick with it. Mike Holmgren said he's very happy with the way things are going, but he wants to try to put a lot more pressure on Steve Young. Back up to you, Pat.
All right, Ron, thank you. Mike Holmgren certainly had a period there where he wasn't all that happy with the way things were going after that.
Well, yeah, he had that drive and the intentional grounding penalty and the holding on Derek Mays. And
Packers from the 26. Play pass outside to Henderson. Woodall is there quickly, and he is down, incomplete as the ruling.
Well, and he was there quickly, Pat. They read, Lee Woodall read that thing all the way. They're going to try and get William Henderson out here in the flat quickly. But watch Woodall. He's coming just as quickly, and he really lowers the boom. I don't know that that's not a fumble. The people here are looking and saying, did he have control of it? He did have control, and he turned. That should have been a fumble.
And the 49ers had picked it up.
Yeah, because he did catch that ball, have control, and he fumbled it as he started to turn and was hit by Lee Woodall.
And they're still booing.
Rightly so.
2nd and 10. Levens. A couple. Hit from the outside by Lee Woodall.
Yeah, I think they went in there. No, you know, we talk about the finality and we talk about the urgency, and you know that when you get to this point and you only have one half left, there's only one half of football. Whoever wins this game goes to the Super Bowl and plays the Denver Broncos. A loser doesn't play again until August. There's Woodall. He's coming off the block. He just hangs in there. And I'll tell you, he really does unload when he tackles.
3rd and 9. Favre retreats. Wide open is Derek Mays, and he gets enough for a first down. Tyrone Drakeford, the cover man, but Mays got the first down.
Derek Mays is a 3rd wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, and Mike Holmgren was saying yesterday that we need a big game from him. And again, because he comes in and they want to play a lot of 3 wide receivers. You can see here he is. There's just no one there. He just runs a little slant and he stops, and it's against the zone. There's no one in that zone. So Derek Mays just stops there, and Brett Favre hits him with the ball, and then they roll him in the mud a little.
And they get a first down in the process. 1st and 10, Green Bay. Flags fly. Levens stopped.
Flags flew and whistles blew before the ball was snapped. That has to be an offensive penalty.
Offense, number 72, 5 yards, still first down.
Earl Dotson.
Yeah, if the defense jumps, the offense gets a free play. If the offense jumps, they stop the play. Earl Dotson is right up here, the right tackle, number 72, and you see him. And in fact, that's one that you don't need to. When if you're at the point of attack, if the ball's being run at you, then you know that you have to get off. But when the ball's being run away from you, you don't have to jump offside.
1st and 15. Dorsey Levens broke one tackle, but Tim McDonald put the finisher on Dorsey Levens.
I'll tell you one thing I can tell about this game in this second half is this 49er defense has come out with a lot more urgency. In the first half, they were getting beaten by that half a step. I mean, the Packers were just getting off first on everything, and they're not so far. And that's probably what they talked about.
Very aware of the finality you were talking about. Gary Plummer.
Yeah, you got one more half. You're down 13-3, and you got one more half of football to turn this thing around, or you go home.
2nd and 15. 3 wide receivers for Green Bay. Favre. Wide open is Tyrone Davis, and he gets to midfield and gets the Green Bay first down.
Perfect read by Brett Favre. You know what happens? Norton was out there, and he's on the slot, and he comes on a blitz off the slot. And then so that receiver on that side of the blitz becomes the hot receiver. And you just see he's out here. See, now once Once Brett Favre sees this coming, he knows that he wants to hit in the area that he's vacated. Now watch the blitz come from there, and boom, he goes right to that area where that defensive guy vacated.
Tyrone Davis made the catch, and the Packers have said almost every week we got some things planned for him. Favre comes out of the pocket, gets away from one, lofts it for Levens, and overthrows.
Brett Favre has something to say to everyone. He talks to defensive linemen, he talks to defensive backs, he talks to linebackers, he talks to coaches, but this is what I like right there. He always has a smile on his face, and I believe that, and and that's why he's one of my real favorites, because if it is a game, it should be played like a game, it should be fun, and if it's fun, you should have a smile every once in a while.
And to him, it is a game.
And it is fun.
And he was talking about playing baseball in the 8th grade, and I'm sure he had the same kind of fun then.